Now, international art dealer and consultant Yudelka Tavera says her pick perfectly exhibits their mission to deliver a simple, fresh, home-cooked meal, just the way Nonna made. No need to see a menu. She insists the Italian specialties served inside of a vintage-style market will entice and satisfy. It's in Fort Lauderdale, and it's called Il Paesano.
We're at Il Paesano. Welcome. This is an Italian market, a restaurant, a deli. Paula and I met back in South Africa. She came from a very Italian family, so we decided to do something that was authentic, absolutely authentic. That was our core here. We need to make it absolutely Italian as possible. We open generally at 10 o'clock in the morning. Walk inside, have a cup of coffee with me, do your shopping, your fresh pasta, your fresh sauces, soups, authentic, top quality Italian products. And then at about 6:30, we start serving dinner. There is no menu at all, and that's our whole thing here. We don't want a menu, we don't want wine lists. People must come in, they sit down. We don't have servers, we have myself and my wife that'll approach you and just invite people to come over and eat with us. There's no uncomfortable feeling when coming to my place. When you come to my place, you need to sit down and you're at home. You're in my house. This is a family environment. It's not, you don't have to wear a three-piece suit to come to me. In fact, I would prefer it if you came with your wife and your children and just sat down. We'll give you something to drink, nice bottle of wine, good homemade food. Just enjoy it. There's no rush. Il Paesano is a true, authentic Italian market.
Sounds good, right?
It is, it is. It is our go-to place. They know me, they know my family. We're there sometimes twice a week. We don't feel like cooking. Unassuming. It's so small. We thought it was a pizza shop. We stumbled inside looking for pizza, and I said, oh, they had some items for sale, and out comes the owner. Are you here for lunch? And I said, no, I don't think I want a panini, and it was just, I was like, oh, I thought you guys were a pizza shop. And she said, no, sit. And she showed me the little back room that had wine all over the walls. And she said, pick a bottle, I'll recommend something. And she stood there and was talking for like a good 10 minutes. We have da-da-da-da-da-da. And it was just amazing.
You realized you had stumbled into magic, right? Isn't
Absolutely.
that amazing when that happens?
Absolutely.
Tell me about what you had last time you went.
The last time I went, I had the pear fallottino, and it was fantastic. Very buttery, creamy. The pear you think would be something overwhelming for a non-dessert person. It wasn't. The cheese and the cream was balanced. Like, it was melting in my mouth. It was savory. She turned the pear into something else. Like I didn't really miss meat.
Okay. Anything else?
Fantastic. My partner had the veal saltimbocca, and it was not overdone.
Was it a veal chop or a veal scallopini style?
It was sliced.
Okay, so it was a scallopini style, but it's the saltimbocca sauce. Okay.
And then with some fried sage, topped with Parmesan. We were just like rotating our plates. Like, okay, my turn, your turn.
Diana, what'd you think?
Oh, it was fantastic. It's funny that she says that they shared, because I went with my in-laws and my husband, and it was a little far for me because I'm all the way in Kendall.
Right.
But it was worth the drive. My mother-in-law had what you had, and it was to die for. I think it was the best dish on the table. And I had the ravioli stuffed with lobster. Just a simple, creamy sauce, but it was delicious. For appetizer, we had a picada, like a nice antipasta.
Yeah. What was on there? Do you remember?
A spicy salami, a prosciutto, some olives, some
You had that as well, David,
cheeses.
right?
Yes, as a starter. Correct.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it as well?
I'm that cranky guy that generally doesn't like to go north of Miami-Dade County,
Okay.
but we go.
I said
And
that.
I met 3 of my closest friends. We're friends for 40 years. One lives in Boca, one lives in Pembroke Pines, the other lives in Aventura. The 4 of us at the end of the evening all said, this was a memorable evening we have spent together, and we're friends forever.
Oh, how lovely.
We walked in, and Paola is the owner, and she said, I'm going to put you in the wine room, but people buy wine, so I hope you don't mind. While you're eating, they're going to be walking around you. It turned out to be lovely, because 2 of my friends are wine experts. They were blown away at what they would say were $120 bottles of wine at a restaurant that were $40.
Wow.
The wine
And you
was
just
nice.
pulled them off the shelf. We really met Paola within an hour. We were friends for life.
They're a fascinating couple, and they're super
really are.
friendly. They're super nice to our
So
family.
nice. We sat for hours drinking wine, solving the world's problems, and eating delicious food, so much that at the end of the night, each friend made plans to go with their families.
Right.
I had a ravioli filled with ossobuco, and it was
That sounds delicious.
delicious. Absolutely delicious. We all shared, delightful, a memorable evening.
And you
I
all
couldn't
had
believe it.
dessert. So let's start with you, David. What'd you have for dessert?
We shared. The tiramisu was highest quality. Not too sweet, delicious.
Dinah, what'd you have for dessert?
We had torta de la nona.
Oh, sure. Grandma's.
So yeah, so it was like a
Cake.
lemon tart. Delicious, fantastic. And we also had like a fruit tart, which was very unique. I wonder if the berries were almost imported. I had never seen blueberries that size. Tiny, tiny, tiny blueberries.
Usually the European ones are that size. That's interesting.
So unique.
Did it bother any of you that they don't have a menu really, that it's all verbal?
It did the first time, but she came out and she gave me a big smile, and she said, "Oh, we have this, and that."
Right.
And she said it with the perfect accent, and I said, "Okay," you know. And I said,
Sold.
"Let's stay."
Yeah.
Right.
Sold.
Truly like meeting a friend, and you're at dinner at the friend's house who happens to be a wonderful cook. So
Nice.
it was wonderful.
Well, you, Delga, Il Paesano was your choice. Sum it up for us, please.
It's truly an authentic Italian experience.
Diana?
I felt I was having dinner somewhere in Italy. It was delicious. It was warm. It was friendly. I loved the atmosphere.
David?
A truly memorable night. Go with friends, and you'll talk about it forever.
For homemade Italian dishes, visit Il Paesano, located at 2645 East Oakland Park Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale. Open Monday through Saturday for lunch and dinner. Reservations are accepted, and the average price for dinner without drinks is about $60.